I always like this video. I don't know. Well, it keeps getting disabled by the updates, so I don't always. What, my monitors may not be set up with the correct configuration? Move along. Just because I'm using a second monitor for OBS doesn't mean that this is set up incorrectly. Alright, let me just lock my mouse to the window like I usually do. Auto mouse lock.exe. Done. Alright. And we'll have to check the sound balance in a moment. Let me pick some music for today. Let's close that. This one will do. Alright. Still seems a bit loud, yeah. How about more like that? That looks good. It's a bit quieter still. Perfect. Alright, so today we're going to be doing more map scripting as advertised in the stream title. And I'm going to be doing more work on HyperRandom because I need to get that ready for Masters of HyperRandom. That's the one. I feel like the music is still a bit loud, but I think it should be okay. Right, we'll just generate that for now. We're going to need some code. And we're going to do something new that wasn't possible before. Secondary victory condition, Empire Wars mode. Bam. I'll take this seed. This one looks promising. And it looks totally different. Now what I want to solve is essentially I want to make sure that the dock is placed on a sensible body of water for Empire Wars. Right now I'm just placing it on the closest body of water, which may not always be a sensible one. This is actually okay for once, but... So, we had a couple different ideas for how to do this. Basically, since I'm not guaranteed to have a deep water terrain, what I want is I want something that stays away from the coastline, a placeholder, an invisible placeholder that stays away from the coastline. And then I use the area, the proximity to that to place docks. Now, one option instead of an invisible placeholder is to use the fish. However, that comes with a difficulty, and that's where we're going to have to start looking at code. Namely, I place my code at the end of the script. And all of them are using min distance to group placement, which kind of prevents other stuff from being placed in them. So, do I place the fish earlier? Alright, so we're going to have to do a bit of experimenting. Let's move to the if Empire Wars part of the code. Oh boy, too long. Desperately too long. Not connections, I need to clean this all up. Don't need that. Fill forests, sure. DE available, it doesn't matter. Battle Royale, no. Else if Empire Wars. There we go. Alright. Much as I like followers, I in fact don't like bots like this. So we're gonna do that. There we go. So, if use small ponds, if water... Alright, so we have an Empire Wars water. It's the situation that we have right now, and now we're placing a dock. And we need to make this a bit smarter, this code. So, just let's put in some pseudocode here. Create object fish. Number of objects 9,320. Max distance to other zones. Actually, let's just do that. We'll just place a pile of fish and take a look at what that looks like. Yeah, so we have a unbelievable pile of fish. Very nice, but that's not actually what we want. So now let's do temp min distance to group placement, I don't know, 4. That will reduce the number of fish to a more manageable amount, just for purposes here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do something called max distance to other zones. And this is going to ensure that my body of water is big enough. We'll call that like 5. Now you can't really see what's happening here, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do second object flag A. Okay. So essentially, docs will only... Wow, now I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, let's not make that 5, let's make that like a 7. Make that 2, and we're not going to do second object flag A. Instead, we're going to do actor area. Give me a number that I haven't used yet. 7,000. Oh, I don't know. 7,654. Actor area radius 10. Something like that. And then we're gonna do trade object flag B. Just so that we don't get excessively many, we'll do this. And then we do actor area to place in. Now this should give the general impression that I'm trying to get. We'll generate that. Let's try that. Yeah. So essentially, we now have flags only on large bodies of water, not in little corners like here where I don't want to dock. Let's fix that though. The dock actually wouldn't have ended up there by default. It would have ended up here. Cool. Now the problem still is I don't want the flags, but I don't need the flags. The flags are just placeholders. I don't want the extra fish. So what are we going to do to deal with that? So we need to find an invisible placeholder that I can put there. And what are we going to use for that? That's where we're going to need some... Let me pull up Firefox. Alright. So we're going to need a placeholder. Let's see, what have we got? Give me something better. Can be placed as a wall. Janitor placeholder. Human placeholder. Terrain blocker. So the question is, what do I actually want here? Ideally, I want something that has the same terrain restrictions as the fish, but isn't a fish that I'm going to use. Fish, perch fish. Let's see, not the villagers, fishers. Shorefish, fish trap dead. Marlin. Here, one of these things here. Like dolphin 5. Tiny selection outline. One of these things here. Let's try 459. So let's hide Firefox again. Let's see. So we need, instead of fish, we're gonna do const water placeholder. Call it 459. And then we're going to create water placeholder. The flags here are just to help see what's going on. So if we try this, let's just see what happens if we do that. This is not something I've tried. That, in fact, had no effect. Salmon underwater. The problem is it will deceive people who look at the map. It will deceive people who look at the map in the scenario editor, and I don't really want to do that either. Maybe I'll try one of the other ones. 452. Otherwise, we're going to have to take something invisible and change its properties to be that of a fish. That's an interesting exercise too, so maybe we'll do that. Alright, that's much better. Very nice. We'll have to check in-game to make sure it doesn't look problematic. Alright, so now... Remember, the flags are just there as a distraction. And then we're going to get rid of... We'll keep the flags for now. But we're going to find the closest place... Actor area to place in. Act or area to place in. Seven, 6, 5, 4. This should in fact do the trick. I believe. Hopefully. So wish me luck. Let's take a look. The question is, where did the blue dot go? The blue dot was not placed at all. Now, why is that? Am I not seeing it? Am I being silly? Blue dock is vanished without being replaced. Well, that's no good. Alright, so let's do something like... number of objects. Set guy object only. Let's try that. Set guy. So blue is unable to find a spot, probably because it's too far away. So now it gets real tricky. Instead of placing a dock, I could place some sort of placeholder. Alright, we'll get this working. On grid placeholder 2. Do I have an on-grid placeholder 1? Second object, dock. That's going to end up with docks on land. I'll just do that to demonstrate. Well, at least it should. Oh boy. Something is very, very wrong here. I feel like... What did I miss? I'm missing something. Something's broken up here. He's on grid placeholder 1 not defined. Let's double check that. It isn't. Oh boy. Temporary object grid is the one I want. But where... Alright. Okay. That will fix our immediate problem here. but I want to look for on-grid placeholder 1. Oh, maybe it doesn't exist. Alright, that was my mistake. Much better. Now, unfortunately, we still do not have a blue dock. Which is a bit of a problem. Why not? Alright, we'll have to experiment a bit. Alright, we're gonna change this back to a dock for now, and we're gonna try some different generations. Let's get some more players so that we have more examples to look at. And let's see what we can find. Alright. Red has a dock. Why? Okay. Once again, I'm not seeing a dock for blue or green. Which means actually why not? Why not? Alright, this is a pure land map, that's fine. Alright, here we have the straggler tree villagers. That was my special idea. They have straggler tree villagers for Empire Wars. Okay, this is a good water map. Let's see where we have our docks. So, alright, so yellow has a dock here. We only wanted them on lakes that were big enough to have the flags on them. Where does blue... Why does blue not have a dock? Why does red not have a dock? It's something about this... about these flags and actor areas that aren't quite doing the trick. Alright, I think because it needs to be placed for every player, so I think what we need to do... Water placeholder. Set guy object only. What if we do set place for every player? Set place for every player. And we want to set the HP of this thing to 0 as well. Well, setting it for every player just doesn't work at all. Why am I not getting docks for the other players? It's some sort of silly thing with actor areas and how they interact with players. And I don't remember the issue. What the issue is exactly. Note that these guys, though, still don't have their straggler tree. Still don't have their straggler tree villagers. This is very bad, because that's supposed to actually be fixed. Alright, Alright, let's try another generation. I thought this would be easier to fix. Fine, that's not what we need. We need a water map. Sure. Alright, these actor areas are thoroughly misbehaving. Because if I just get rid of this line of code, then it will work. I have no doubt. Apparently I have lots of doubt. What the heck is going on? Is this some sort of scenario editor artifact again? Oh, right, okay. So there we have the dock. This is what I was trying to deal with. Let's see if it's the same. Okay. We've got the dock there. And does red also have a dock in the lake? Alright, perfect. So this is what we're trying to deal with here. Basically this type of catastrophe. So, put back our code. And actually go back one more step. There. Now I want to see where the blue dock ends up. We got it out of the pond. But we did not get it also just looking at where the flags are. I can probably be a bit more generous with how far away they need to be from the ocean, but I still have the problem that in fact we're not getting them for any player other than yellow now. Where did the red dock go? Alright, let me quickly take a look at what other solutions were proposed in our Discord. Yeah, I feel like the fact that this is a neutral actor area is to blame. So how do we create this differently? Yeah, we're gonna have to do a bit of experimenting here. Things are never as easy as you hope they'd be. So we do something like that. Set place for every player. Find closest terrain to place on water A. Something like that. Let's try now. So we should have player colored flags. Yeah. Now if I do max distance to other zones, will it stay away from the shores? Because maybe I was just making this too complicated for myself. No, because flags are allowed to be placed everywhere by default. So yeah, so this doesn't do the trick because it's still filling these ponds, right, with flags. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do fish. Place it for every player. That shouldn't work because fish is a guy object, so we probably need set guy object only. Let's take a look. Yeah, that did nothing. So let's do second object. flag B. So we'll do that, and we're gonna do set guy object only. I hope this isn't just a scenario editor deficiency. Alright, so we are not seeing the fish, probably because they're separated because the players are... This is a land area for players. So okay, so the docks are failing to place too. So we're entirely not getting into this case because the actor area doesn't exist. And the fishing ships don't exist. Okay, I guess we really do need a placeholder. I don't know. I'm not quite happy with this situation yet. Let's go back to this. Second object DLC tower. Try something like that. To do it's gonna be so hard. Alright, so that's our DLC fortified towers. Interestingly, it's not ending up in these areas, maybe because they're just a bit too narrow. If we did something like that. Why does only yellow get the fish? I feel like this might be a scenario editor only artifact. Alright, we're gonna have to do some testing in game. Yeah. Alright, flag B we don't need. Yeah, I feel like something is just going wrong here. So let's try something. Let's just try it. See if this works. So this is what it's going to look like in game. No, we don't want the fortified towers. Huh. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. So I guess the flags were deleting it. I don't much like having those outlines plopping around the minimap either. Alright, we're gonna look for an invisible hero to use instead, and we're gonna turn it into a water placeholder. So let me show Firefox again. Blank. Constable Richmond. Dead Constable Richmond. This is usually used as a placeholder. So what if we try Dead Guy Jocelyn? 649. So this unit should be invisible. We're gonna hide Firefox again so you can see. Let's take a look. Now, it shouldn't be on water, that's one thing. And it also shouldn't cause the game to run this... Am I crashing? I might be crashing. That doesn't look promising. Well, while the game decides whether or not to crash... we're gonna do some brackets around this. It's crashing, isn't it? Why is... Yeah, the game is totally crashing right now. So I'm just going to ignore the fact that that's happening. And we're gonna $50. Just get rid of all of that. And second object flag B. Alright, well, yeah, the game is not responding. So yeah, close the program, and we'll restart the program. Let's see if it works better now. We're gonna skip the intro this time, though. How am I gonna do this? Or we can take a look at what Krasina uses for placeholders and steal one of his. Maybe we'll do that. Alright, I said I was gonna skip the intro, so let's go. Let's just take a look at what Krasina uses as placeholders. So to do that, I need Arabia. This is the new official Arabia. And now we're going to look for PH for placeholder. Not elephant. Dolphin, not battle elephant. Not cataphract. Amphitheater. Alright. Placeholder object with no terrain restrictions. Placeholder object that may only generate on land terrains. Placeholder that may only generate on water and shallows. I think this is what I want. One of these two. So let's take a quick look at the terrain restrictions of fish. For that I need the advanced genie editor. I'll be grabbing that in just a second once I get my desktop. Where is it though? Go away. I don't know what the stream looks like right now, probably a mess, but I need to get to... Oh, too many folders on my desktop. Alright. Age versions, HHD, HDE folder. Alright, cool. Now I can make this full screen again. Check to make sure the stream hasn't completely died. It looks okay. Perfect. Just get you something to look at so the map isn't empty. This also still needs some work. This was the island-themed map I'm working on, with neutral ports to trade with. But anyway, where do we have advanced genie editor? Let's pull that up here. Pen. All right, get me a fish. How about a snapper? What are the terrain restrictions for this? Ah, but welcome, by the way. Terrain table. It's 19. Okay. Shorefish should be terrain table also. What about great fish? Alright, so we have it on 19 as the terrain thing we want. Perfect. Go away, advanced gene editor. Now. So 13 will be just water. 19. Alright, so Shizini is using object 630. We're just going to copy this code. And we're going to check what 630 is, just so that I know. Dead Joan of Arc. Yeah, I don't know why Guy Jocelyn crashed the game. So we're going to need to put this code somewhere else in the script. Namely, towards the top. A bit further forward. Somewhere over here. Alright, so basically, what I'm actually doing, until the game crashed, let me just do this, and you can now, in the scenario editor, this might be useful to you as well, you can set different game modes. I was trying to improve the dock placement for Empire Wars generations. Like here we don't have a dock being placed at all for some reason. But sometimes I was noticing they get stuck on tiny ponds and I didn't want that. Alright, currently it's not being placed. Maybe I disabled it, but let's... Actually, no, let's get a generation where it works so that we can have a good basis to start from. What happened to my Emperor Wars docks? No, no, no. Alright. Anyway, yeah, there's lots of need to fix the dock situation. Give me another water map that we can... Well, it's a rhino rush. It's like a gold rush except with rhinos. Alright, this will do. Now, let me just quickly put in Kradini's placeholder code somewhere a bit higher up, somewhere here. So where do I change the terrain IDs of fish? Prevent fish on beaches but allow on shallows. That is essentially what I want. We'll call it... We want it 17 in that case. Attribute hit points, attribute storage value. Actually, we don't care about any of these. We're going to do this for a generic placeholder that's off-grid. Now we're going to go back to where we were, and we're going to take a look at how badly things are going. Come on. Where were we? Here somewhere, right about there. So if we comment out this, then we see what the current situation is. And that is that docks are just placed on the nearest body of water, which in general works pretty well, except you end up with situations like this, which I don't want, where the dock is placed in a pond, in a tiny pond, especially if the pond is just like a hole, like here. That would not be a good place for the dock to end up. I want the dock only on large bodies of water. Now, to this end, we're going to take a different we going to use this? I mean, there are no fish on this, so I actually don't... Maybe I should put shallow fish on mangrove shallows. Alright, let's get one that has fish. So this one doesn't place a dock. That's fair. Let's try here. This is a good one, yeah. So we've got the docks placed correctly as such. So the thing is that that the ponds can happen, well, okay, sometimes I'm just placing the ponds, but I'm having one type of beach everywhere on the map. I could achieve what I want by messing around with the terrain generation as well. I'm trying to see if I can find a solution that just works with placeholders that we currently have. So what I would do is I would do something like this, and we call it pH water off. We do something like that. Let's take a look at where it ends up. I think this fix should work theoretically. So this just ends up everywhere like that. All right. Well, we need more like 5,000. So just to see where they end up with. Perfect. Now we in fact don't want this. We're going to try over here. Don't want the code that I was trying before, pH water off. And then we need second object flag. C will do this time. And I almost had it work, except that it wasn't spawning docks for both players because of some sort of silly actor area mess where putting player objects in Gaia actor areas just didn't like. Yes, that's why. That is precisely why. But this... Alright, so now what I actually need to do to show this properly, we'll do this... create object. I think I've got it now. With this, with Crazini's whatever whatever this is a dead Joan of Arc. Create object, flag B, number of object. Groups would have worked too, actually. But I think this will work. Actor, area to place in. Actually, we haven't fixed it yet because I have the code commented out. It might still have, we might still have the same actor area problem that we had before. I would just pull the code out of, his thing because I needed a placeholder. Alright, so basically, the area that's in flags is sort of the area that's close to one of these original ones that we placed. Now the moment of truth though is when I uncomment this and then it decides not to place into this because it's a neutral actor area. Then I will be sad and have to think about this some more. Also, Crazini's Arabia is now the official Arabia. That's what I was using. So actually, it seems it does work in this specific case. So let's make it... Yeah, I'll add this again so that it's not so oppressive. Yeah, so basically, let's see if it works on some other layouts. Specifically ones with tiny ponds. Let's get some more players. And some bigger map sizes. Oh boy. Why is it... Alright, so maybe the game crashing wasn't my fault. Either that or I'm just using too many actor areas to do this. Because it's frozen right now. Now, I had the same freeze happen before. Also, I hope you don't hear the person mowing the lawn too loudly outside. It's probably fine. Mics are pretty good at canceling sound. But, yeah, so it's crashing again. I had the same problem before, where possibly it's too many actor areas. Yeah, but... But I need them. It's not... Oh, it worked! It just only took 5 minutes to generate. My goodness. I don't want to know how bad it will be in like an 8-player map. Where's Green's dock? Does Green not have a dock? Yeah, that's the other problem, is that it's not really working 100%. Alright, let's generate it again and see how slow it is. It's only 4 players, but I am creating, well, a lot of actor areas and trying to place in a lot of them. Okay, the actual problem that I'm having now, though, is that once again... Okay, yellow has a dock. None of the other players have a dock. That's the same issue I was running into before. Now, if I turn off this whole code construct, then one of the players is going to have a dock in a pond like this. Like a little bit somewhere. Which I don't necessarily want. I might have to rethink this. Yeah. If we try this now, so we'll still have our flags. Also, I'm not a fan of whatever is increasing the generation time so much. Yeah, the dock is basically supposed to be placed... The area is signified by all the flags. The dock is supposed to be placed in the closest space in the flags. The problem is if I don't do this, then I end up with docks like this, which is what I'm trying to prevent, right? I might just have to do it with terrain stuff. Because now every player reliably has a dock. Which is good. However, the green player has a dock in a puddle, which is not so good. But if I have some sort of actor area on the water that the dock is supposed to be in, then it doesn't reliably... Oh, I need to turn up the volume. This is too loud with the lawn mowing outside. Yeah, it's... there are a couple bugs. I don't remember exactly, but the Mad Catter showed them before. Essentially, if you're placing player object into neutral actor areas, or the other way around. Oh, God. It's actually too loud with this lawnmower outside. Create an actor area avoiding all... Alright, you know what, let's try that. That might work. So what we need to do instead is we have this here. And... avoid actor area. Avoid. area. Oh my. Void actor area there, and then what we do is here we do, and then we give the call this. I also need some sort of system for actually making these actor areas have sensible names. This might work though. We'll just do something like that. Alright, you must be able to hear that on stream. Oh God, this guy is mowing the lawn right outside my window. Anyway, where was I? I was gonna do this, yeah. Let's see if this works. Actually, wait. You were going to avoid... No, you're just gonna have the dock avoid the actor area. No, you're right, actually. I need to think about this conceptually, but you're... Hello. I'll shrink it in a bit. Let's just see if it works. And then we'll try another look at this. Okay, so we have our original flags on the water. Then we have our things on the land anywhere that's not on the water. And then we have our docks being placed correctly. I mean, this is a big enough puddle that I'll allow it. Yeah, so this is looking promising. This is essentially just needs to be invisible ultimately. I need to have both of these things. So I need something here as well. Make sure that blank object is actually defined. It is. Cool. And actually... This might... Yeah, so how do I might need to optimize it a little bit. Maybe not even. Hey, this is a genius solution, thank you. I'm pretty sure this just does the trick. Alright, then I don't need those flags actually there anymore, that's just for debugging. Then we see if I ever try to place docks on non-Empire Wars. And then if... Alright, well we've got our dead Constable Richmond now. Yeah, alright. Oh no, it's the dead, that's the dead Joan of Arc because she actually does have a graphic. Your avoidance to all actor areas should be 1+. Yeah. Makes sense. Alright, let me just go back to this flag. Not Fishby. Second. So I'm giving them a radius of 10. Yeah, so essentially I have anything that's in deep water needs to stay at least 5 away from the shore and is then having a radius of 10. So basically, roughly 5 tiles inland is where we then start blocking anything. So can we optimize it a bit? It doesn't need to be as big, right? Yeah, this doesn't need to be 10. It could be 5, and that would be fine. Yeah, and we can. Yeah, and we can give this thing an actor area radius of. Radius of 1 is 1 in each direction, right? Or I can just do that too. But 0 is just the tile, so 1 will be 1 in each direction. Something like that. Let's take a look. Huh. So we even got... Overall, I like the result. I think I want this to be slightly... I think this should be pretty reliable, actually. It does mean that we don't end up in little bays, but that's fine because those bays can be cut off. Alright, so pretty happy with this. We'll give it a nice comment. Puddles. And now we still have some flags that we want to get rid of. Yeah. This is true. Now, can we make it so that it still looks nice in the scenario editor isn't covered? Actually, no. Before we test that, let's try a couple different... Let's just see how robust it is on more pondy layouts. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter here. Something like this. Well, every player has a dock. That is already good. Oh gosh, let me mute the mic again. Also, you were complaining about the elevation thing not actually being balanced, and I didn't realize it until I went and changed this so that my elevation was colored differently at higher heights. But I've noticed that now. It really still prefers the south, despite being balanced technically, or well, officially, but I mean it's clearly not truly balanced in the placement of elevation. I think this is one of them that doesn't get a dock. Yeah, I've noticed it. You don't notice it unless you're looking for it, but it is definitely still happening. I can try. I mean, hey, no crashing on me. It's crashed again. Well, that crash wasn't due to anything silly I did. Alright, have a crash report. Maybe they'll fix something. It's from this new update. Or it was in the pre-update build as well. Because I had a crash there. But yeah. Hey, anything that gets bugs fixed. I don't know what kind of logging information that gets sent. Probably not enough to fix whatever was wrong with my map that caused the game to crash, but you never know. Oh, right. Yeah, so we need to activate Empire Wars again. Yeah, once again, the southern island has a lot higher elevation than the northern one. Also, there's some silly wars going on, but I don't see any... I do see a dock. Alright, where is Red's dock? Where is Red's dock? Red does not have a dock. Yeah, these are these weird cases where I'm not sure what the reason is. Blue has a dock. Red clearly doesn't have a dock. Let's check a couple more. Get me more water maps. At least it does prevent the puddle situation. I feel like there's also there's still some cases where the scenario editor just performs differently than in-game. Does anyone know? No one gets a dock when it's just a corner like... Oh, it wouldn't be. I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with this, because what would have happened on a map like this is the dock would have ended up here. Which ships can probably sail through that, but yeah. This is better. Now. Well, yes, that's my map scripting style. Also, it's like, I mean, the classic map, right? The standard map is coastal. The default map, at least. We have classic coastal. There you go. Anyway, less distraction, more fixing what I was going to work on. It is. I mean, Arabia has no water, right? And the game features water, so you really... The coastal is a good default map. Once again, I think I'm just going to blame this on the scenario editor, not giving player one. I should debug it, actually. It's probably is the scenario editor. Or it's the terrain that the town center is under. Yeah, this is once again where you say the elevation is balanced, theoretically, not actually. Alright. this one will do. So I want to make the map not have a bunch of flags on it. That should get rid of the flags in the ocean and replace them with decaying Joan of Arcs, which is not what I want. And then this flag here, we can just use blank object. That should work. Now we're just left with the Joan of Arcs in the ocean. What are we going to do with them? We need to find something that we could use for this object that has no graphics. So pH. Find next. I mean, it'll decay instantly because of the attribute storage value 0, but we want something that doesn't have graphics. So what are we gonna find? Like the off-map trading boat or the beta berserk, I think. Let's try the off-map trading boat. The problem is it going to die? If I set its HP to 0, it should die instantly, right? Let's try that. 436. Yeah. Because I think they got rid of the graphics for this in DE. Let's take a look. Well, it's invisible, but it's also visible on the minimap. Not what I want. Not what I want. So I need something that's dead. _D. What could we use? Or maybe like a bullet or something tiny? Beta Berserk was also. Berserk. I am open to ideas, by the way. Let's search for invis. Yeah. Maybe if we just hand that object to Gaia, 1291, could try that. $12.91. Now we have way too many windows open again, so Firefox go away, Advanced Genie Editor go away. Let's take a look. And thankfully the lawn mowing has passed. Okay, that is in fact invisible. That is good. Let's make sure it exists though. The other question is, do I want to place fish on... Because mangrove shallows don't seem to count on this terrain restriction 17. I'm gonna have to check what mangrove shallows are normally. pH... Anyway, one thing at a time. So... Flag, there's probably a flag G, or maybe not. Flag D? There's a flag D. Nice. Okay, so I think we have our fish, our Empire Wars dock situation solved. Yeah. but we're going to try it in game to make sure that those placeholders don't cause a problem. The invisible object that keeps players alive. Because if you can capture it, that would be problematic. We don't need a post imp start. Let's try that. I'm gonna have to try one that's not revealed as well, just to see if we're capturing some sort of object. It's probably not a great idea to be using this specific object. Alright, so let's see if it keeps me alive. Alright. No, it doesn't. That's good. And to speed up the testing process, we are going to go to the top of the map. And where do we say? We want 0. We want 100% of a 100% chance of a water-based map. And I think we can count this as being a successful project in a moment. We have a dock. Red is building a bunch of docks because I gave ultra high resources. Green does not have a dock. Unless green deleted their dock. Yeah, I'm still not fully happy with this. See, green just didn't get a dock. Why? Because the road is underneath? Underneath the town center? But I have a road underneath the town center and I have a dock. Alright, we're not defeated yet. There was an additional trick that I was trying before. We're gonna call that terrain to place on, or what are we going to place it on? Well, deleting the walls on arena is just for performance. They have a better, it prevents them from pathing properly if they have too many walls. That's why they delete them. But here, well, I think what we might be running into is, do I have it noted down somewhere? What's its objects generation and then terrain to place on? Let me show what I'm thinking of. Basically, to place on specified terrain. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Set place for every player. Objects will not be placed where they are separated from the origin of their land by terrain they are restricted on. I think this is what's sometimes causing the problems. It would generally cause problems when placing water objects. Specifically this here. I never looked into it too deeply, but this seems to hold true in general. But what we're gonna do is do something like this instead with second object. So we're gonna do beach A. Let's try that, see if that's better. All right. Green does have a dock. Green does not have fishing ships. Because the same restrictions are applying there. So how are we going to deal with that issue? Yeah, we're going to do this. Placeholders to the rescue. I'm telling you. There's something about, we can actually take a look at that too in the game data, why dirt terrains are different than other terrains when it comes to restrictions for water objects. I don't understand entirely. There might be someone who knows the answer to that. So we need that, and we don't want them to be placed on land, so terrain to place on water A should usually be fine. I hope. I mean, water A always exists, probably-ish. Let's try that. Alright, so green has, I have fish, red has fish, yellow has fish. Very nice. Let's try again. And then if we're done with this, I still have some more time. So the other thing I was going to do is, currently you can have on this map the option that there's some sort of land in the center. Ooh, this is a fancy generation. I was going to add the option that you can have 2 lands in the center. Or maybe even 4. Well, I mean, these are the sort of fun things that can sometimes be produced. I'm not even upset about it. Like, this is cool. And everyone did get their docks too, which is very nice. And I probably shouldn't play with deathmatch settings if I don't want to be overrun. Alright, so that's, I think this is fine. Why there's lobby lag for your mods? When exactly it's when it starts. Maybe because they changed at which point the file gets transferred, and it doesn't get transferred until you start the game rather than when you're ready up. I don't know, but that's something like that could plausibly explain what you're observing. What's Empire Wars dock placement? Alright, let's turn off the 100% chance of water maps. Oh god, I don't know what I had here. Let's just go back a bit. 40, that's what 40, and this was 40, alright. Oh, that's weird. But it's not when you're starting the game, it's after selecting the map, huh? Maybe it's immediately loading the map. Or somehow verifying the map, you know, verifying the file integrity. I don't know. I'm just guessing. If you can replicate it, or if you can describe it in a way that they can replicate it, then absolutely do. Look at this. Once again, the south. Okay, maybe because the players are in the north, but still. The south is mountainous. Dock. Alright, this is Battle Royale docks. I don't care about those right now. Prevent docks and puddles. I'm just going to copy this code in case I need it anywhere else. Yeah, okay, I don't have any other. Cool, so we can move on to the next point of order. And for this, maybe I'm actually going to demonstrate it on a blank map. Yeah, let's start with that. I said blank map. Oh, I was testing min-connected tiles, and that's basically still buggy, is the bottom line. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do, or what the developers intended for it to do. So that attribute is still useless. Alright. Better. We can ignore those mini clumps for now. So essentially what I want to do is create a land at, say, land. Haha. Is everyone else doing? I think Hera was streaming before, but I think most people are still streaming AoE 4, which I in fact don't own. Because it costs €60 and I'm not paying that much ever for a game. If we did something like this, what do we want? Terrain type ice. And we'll make this, I don't know, zone 1. Land %0 for now. Maybe. And then we want to create a second one, which we're going to call snow at 55, 55. Well, especially, like, the graphics are fine, if, you know, it depends on what you're into, but they were fine. But I was playing it in the beta, but it's very demanding, and yet it still didn't have that much going for it. Like it's certainly playable. Like I'm fine playing Age of Empires 3, but it doesn't just have quite the same appeal. Also, they are going to be charging AoE 4. They're going to be making DLC, surely, with a bunch of new civs all the time. Alright, so now what we want is we're going to want something like this. And then we want left border. 25. Yeah. And they're still adding more to AoE 2 as well, but they're really running low on good choices for more civs that they can add. They need to split up some of the ones like Indians and Italians and even Franks into smaller or into, well, to be less overarching groups, essentially. So now we have something like this. I wanted these to avoid each other, though, so we want not to be the same zone. And we want to get rid of all this other shit that's on the map. So this could go. Well, you'd have to rename the existing civs. Indians, certainly, you could do more. And you should give them... Well, what you do is you rename the current Indians into Mughals or something, and then you have another Indian faction, right? Or you could rename the current Italians into Genoese, and then you could make some other part of Italy as well. I mean, you already have Sicilians in that vein. Good. Well, that's the thing there. They're sort of doing it already. They're just not changing the existing ones. Where effectively now the Italians only represent, part of Italy. They could do that without too much trouble for other factions as well. So now what we need for this is we need some start random percent. Okay, and then what we're going to do, define center LR. That's right. This is, I'm just using this as a template. I'm going to put this into HyperRandom to offer more interesting center lands, where instead of just being one land in the center, you can now have sort of a split center in the middle. then what are the other two options going to need to be? How do I name these sensibly? Let's check what I was calling the lands before. Reduce corner constraints. Bottom left. What are the side lands? Alright, so this is northwest. Alright, I'll name them more sensibly. But the purpose of this map is actually to be a sandbox that I can do whatever I want in. Left, right, up, down, then we want northwest, southeast. Or we can do... We can just do cardinal directions for everything. We can go west, east, and north, south, and then we do northwest, southeast, and northeast, southwest. And random. Good. Let's just do 100% on all of them and do them one at a time. That's fun to do. And also it's... I don't know, it's fun to stream. I can talk to people while I'm doing it. Doesn't require that much of my concentration. I really had a bigger problem before when outside the grass was being mown and it was just super loud. I don't think you guys could hear it too much, but I was having serious concentration problems there. If center west east is basically what I have right now. Else if center north south, then we would want land position. If this is going to be the northern land, then it would be probably 55-45. I'm gonna have to. This is where I always mess these things up. That's where I want to split these up again. Else if it's in the northwest, then we want land position. Oh boy, I don't know. Let's just do 50-50 for now until I fix it. I always forget the directions. Well, okay. I could even give me one moment to not to just finish this thing here, but the problem with the King of the Desert Arabia, I can show you. Well, there's no problem with the map itself. It looks nice. It's under Arabia, isn't it? It's just the official Arabia. The problem is, it is now a map by Crazini, and it is now probably longer than HyperRandom. Well, yes, it actually is. Right? So, yeah. It's actually doable. I just go to enable themes, and then we realize that he doesn't have a snow theme, and then we get sad. So we just go enable themes. Let's take a look at that. So if we can get Arabia with themes, I said Arabia with themes. Well, that's a bit themed. Where's the snow? All right, we got the European. That's green Arabia. These all you can't do any of these right now because this is all they're all disabled in the official Arabia. But if you make a custom one, problem is there a snow theme? There is not. So if we go to theme European, that's probably a good one. Well, it's a lot of it is stuff that isn't actually being used. Like, they're not using a theme European right now, but you know what? This is a fun project. Let's go. We're gonna turn European into the snow theme. I shouldn't be editing the official Arabia, but in my game files, I'm not gonna play Arabian ranked anyway, so should be fine. I'll just ban Arabia and I'll play Mega Random. Okay, so we need some terrains. So spreadsheet. And we need some snow. So let's take snow is 32. That's a good place to start. We'll hide Firefox again. Beach terrain, spawn forest, base terrain. Let's go 32. All right, this is progress. And then we have there's a snow heavy and light blending. Those are 73 and 74. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try 74 here and 32 here. So actually making a snow Arabia might not be as hard as I thought it would be. On like King of the Desert. Alright. Alright, let's take what did I do? I did 74. Let's try 73. Okay, so we have something like that. Now let's take a look at the rest of it. We need a forest here. We'll take a snow forest. That is, I don't know, 19 maybe? Check. It is, in fact, 19 is the pine forest. The snow forest is 21. And we don't want pine forest mixed with it. We're going to mix the oak forest or the dead forest with it, or both of those actually. So the autumn forest snow autumn is 105. And the forest dead is going to be 106. There we go. This is progress. This is not progress. Where are my snow forests? No, no, no. Give me snow forests. Oh, maybe I need it over here on spawn forest. I don't have that many other forests to offer up. Let's try. I'll put 21 there too. See what happens. Probably shouldn't do that. This is progress. Okay, I'll put 21 there. Then we'll make This one 105 as well, and both of these 106. And base forest blend. Terrain 3. Dirt 3. So what could we put under that? Dirt 3 is probably fine. We can keep that under the base forest. Then we have beach terrain. The beach terrain should be the icy shore. So we need... Yeah, that's 37. Then we need base terrain here, 73. What is that? Sorry, I'm not pulling it up because it would block the code every time if I did that. But 73 is snow light. Alright, I already did that one. Blend A, blend B, 5 and 9. No, I'm very much a fan of having scripts that are hundreds of lines and not thousands or more. 5 and 9. 5 is leaves. We can keep leaves here. 9 is grass 3. So we're going to replace grass 3 with gravel. We want gravel is 70. We'll take 70. And then we have 12. And what is 12 in the terrains? 12 is grass 2. That we're going to replace with dirt 2. Dirt 2 being 11. Good. Straggler forest. 106. Straggler forest variation. 71. What the heck is 71? Underbrush leaves. Alright, well, sure. Pond terrain, sure. Aesthetic, flat aesthetic. Looks good. Alright, so what have we got? Alright, so I should probably get rid of those things too to make it better. And let's try, where was I? We have running 73. Let's run this one on 74 again. Let's strong layering after all. We could actually freeze the ponds. But here, you sort of have a Snow Arabia. Okay, the straggler trees would still need to be fixed. I could do that too. To do that, I'll show you guys. We'll just go here. We'll take a look at what kind of straggler trees do we have available. Snow pine tree looks good as a straggler. 413. And then we want some sort of grouped tree that can be a... where's the autumn snow tree? 1249. And aesthetic scatter 1366. What is that? That's some sort of... What was aesthetic grouped actually? 809. That's not a tree. A stump. Alright, sure. 1366. Plant flowers. Alright, we need plant dead. Something like that. Pond terrain frozen ice is 37 or something like that, probably. Let's check for ice. Icy shore. No, we want ice is 35. Alright. Ooh, hey, no special requests here. Well, the ponds did not turn into ice like I thought they would. That's interesting. I mean, this is without actually knowing what most of his code does. Also, we still have some straggler trees that aren't so good. Aesthetic flat. What was aesthetic flat? 1362. It's actually, these aren't the straggler trees. Well, hey, no special requests. Let's see here. The Else of Theme European. All right, water A. Well, this is how we make it. How we freeze the lakes entirely. Straggler. Ah, that's where we need to put the straggler tree. We said it was 413. And then we thought this one was... I needed some sort of... autumn snow tree, 1249. Ungulate, deer, boar are fine. Sheep and pig are fine. Wolf, bear, those are also fine. Salmon, tuna, those are fine. Hawk and falcon are fine. Horses are fine. Hey, he has a theme alpine. Where? Does he have a theme frozen? Theme alpine. Anyway, let's just see if this works. Here we go. Frozen pond, they don't have fish in them for now. But overall, this is pretty good. There's still carpets. Yeah, but, you know, it's King of the Frozen Desert. It's pretty good. We could do a different horse here. The horse that has the thicker fur. The horse, where the horse listed? Huntable, ungulate. Indicator grass. I don't know what all this stuff is. Wild horse. Alright, let's change the wild horse to... You don't want to track all the snow into the town center. One of these is the right one. Let's try 1356. There we go. That's the horse I wanted. Oh, he had a theme alpine, right? We're gonna look at that theme alpine. Count one match. Okay, so he hasn't fully defined the top of it. Good enough. There we go. File, save as. Snow Arabia. There we go. probably need to fix the actual Arabia. So yeah, that was a quick venture. You can write me on Discord later, or I can send you this that we just made. It can be changed a little bit, but overall that's already not bad. The fish in the ponds, I don't know, maybe if I'm motivated. Alright, so center, that one works. If we do north-south, let's take a look at... These are going to be exactly on top of each other. So we don't want that. We want... First of December, alright, yet. Then there is plenty of time. An anti-arena map. We just make it hideout. Oh, well, what do you mean by anti-arena? Or you make a sea arena. Or anti-arena, you could have walls around your enemies. You have your walls are around the enemy's bases, and you're walled in by your enemy's wall. Someone was asking actually about that. So the tricky thing about doing that is, oh, I did something wrong again, is how to get the walls where you want them. You'd have to do a lot of actor area magic, I suspect. My just idea, without having actually tried it, would be to have each player's base be in the opponent's base, essentially. So you have a wall around your own base, but all of your buildings are in the opponent's base, as a way to conceptually do it from a scripting perspective, because I think it's easier to keep walls around your own starting land than to put walls around an opponent's starting land. So I think it would be easier to move all the other objects, like the TC and the player and the scout and the villagers, than to have the walls on the other side. It's still tricky to actually think about how to do it. First, I want to do this with the lands here. I know this is boring, but we're going to do this first. And it's not working. Why is it not working? Oh, because I did a different order. Wait, did it just have the 0 case appear for me? We talked about this before. There's something wrong with percentages sometimes. But this isn't quite what I want. Actually, we need to think about this. And if we have a circle, give me black. Essentially, we have a circle like this. What are the coordinates of 2 points? Like, it was easy to do the one that's here and here, as well as... Nope. Wait. Oh, my game crashed. That's why my mouse is running off the screen again. Okay. So, mouse lock. Cool. Now my mouse doesn't run off the screen. Or here and here. Those coordinates are just... Those are easy. No, I want numbers, not... I know how to calculate it, theoretically. But... I don't have a graphing calculator. Actually, do I have one on Reach? I do. Huh. I could also use the Excel sheet by the Mad Catter, or I can actually use this graphing calculator, or I can just eyeball it. So essentially, if this point here is, or this is 45, 45, and this one is 55, 55. I would use Wolfram Alpha if I wanted to use my browser. Or, I mean, I have a graphing calculator actually sitting next to my desk. I'm just lazy. Actually, it looks pretty cool when the ice borders with a black terrain, I've got to say. Now, I was going to put it right here. Actually, we could use the Mad Catter's Excel thing. I've used that before for... Let's see if I have a copy of it sitting around anywhere. Madlands. Can do some more fun stuff on stream. Alright, give me Excel. Now let's see, do I have a way to show Excel on my overlay? No, because this is an old version of X. Alright, I would need to add that. I can do that. Window capture. Excel. It's pretty good. It's Excel 2, we'll call it. And then we want to have, there we go. Bam. Now, I need to find out what's going on here. Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while. Base radius less. Give me like 15. Cool. Angle increment 90 degrees. Cool. X offset stretch. We don't want any stretch. Getting there. Offset angle. It's not perfectly aligned, or is it perfectly aligned right now? And I'm just looking at it sideways. Let's try this. 25. 45. 30. Why is it starting at a weird angle? I mean, that's mostly rotated. 32. Alright. So if you've got something like that, Without watching the video, I wouldn't be 100% sure actually what I'm looking at, but... So that's to get the 4 corners. Alright, we can, you know, we can try this. We can try using that code. What if we plop a land 60-40? Alright, so what if we make the radius smaller? 11? No, 13. 10. 8. 7. Something like that. Alright, so that's basically what I'm looking at. So we had... Let me just see, where is Notepad? Excel is way too high up on the priority list. Go below Notepad, okay. So we have our 45, 55. So these are just the corners. And then I would rotate it some more to get the other angles. Yeah, okay, we can do all 4 of these first. Am I being silly? Here I am. So if we add 45 to that, it's 80. I want something along those lines. If we did something like that, and then the one that's opposite it would likely be the 43 to 50. And then we reverse that. Let's try that. Let's take a look, see if I'm conceptually thinking about this the right way. Is that central? I feel like that's not central. That's clearly north-south. I always get messed up too because the coordinate field is turned on the side. No, this is not right. Alright, I have another idea how to solve this. Huh, that's interesting. But I'm calling this northeast, so I actually don't want to go in that direction. I do want to go east. But this land needs to be north, so it needs to be... That's just entirely wrong. I should actually sit down and properly calculate this rather than just YOLOing it. The goal... is still a bit flexible, but basically, like we had with the first two, sort of the Pokeball shape, I like. And then maybe to have also just a split thing where the middle isn't connected. Actually, let's try another thing that I had. If we do... How do we implement a four-way into the random structure? We do... We would need both of these. I just want to see what it looks like. Let's just do four-way. $45, $45. If we do this, then we need... sorry, I'm being a bit confusing here and also not clear about what I want. But I guess I'm still thinking about that. If I did something like this, what would it look like? I'm still experimenting, that's the thing. 3 in zone 4. I don't think this will actually look good, but maybe. No, that's too crowded. So we can just delete those two. Alright, so one more thing that we can do as well, independent of this. Oh, actually we have to take a look at how I do the centers here. Create a central end here, so if I say no lakes, don't I decide somewhere how big the center can be as well? Yeah, somewhere look here. So I say if so we have no central end, small, medium, large central end. Okay, so I just decide if it's small, medium, or large. So I don't want that code. Over here. We don't want none. So 30. Something like that. Now, basically, I thought it would be cool instead of just having, you know, one thing in the middle to have a middle that can be split up like that, while still being connected in there. So, create player lands we don't need. Is it all this center? Full out elevated center. Okay, so I do something like this. Well, vertical or horizontal. I was gonna also have the diagonal, but that requires me to do more math, and I wanted to do this instant. We're still gonna do that, though. So... do something like that. What was going on here? It doesn't need to be straight, no. As long as it's mostly straight, I'm happy with that. I do want the lens to intersect. Oh, because I have base size in here. No. Get out of here, base size. Alright. I think we're mostly ready to move this code over, so let's take a look at what else we're doing with the central land. It has... other zone avoidance distance, which I currently have that set at 5. 2 to 8. We could also randomize that. We could do center split 2, center split 5. Split 8, something like that. And then we do something like that. I know this is terribly interesting just yet. It will be nice when it all comes together. Null save. The problem is now that I have 2 different lands, I have to externally randomize all the parameters. So if we did that now, then we would have sometimes the divide being wider and sometimes the divide being very narrow. Now, what else does our center land currently do? Terrain type we can deal with. We can also do this code actually externally. So if I move this code outside of the land thing, then it would exist though even if the lands didn't exist. I do need to do this code here. We'll just randomize it the first time and copy it the second time. Yeah. So let's see. We have the terrain type is the first thing that happens. Then we have the elevation. So that should be next. That. And then we're not going to do... We're not going to do this override. Define... Allow base elevation. Define... Allow elevated center. Now we're not going to have ice anymore because the ice probably can't be elevated. If I'm correct about this, so we're going to grass. A perfect straight line. Or what do you mean perfect? I actually don't want it to be perfect. What I would like is the coordinates for doing it diagonally. But I can figure those out too if I need to. Any rotation, you say? And something that doesn't require 10,000 lands to do. Now here, this piece of code needs to go differently. So it actually needs to do more like if center elevation 0. Base elevation 0, that type of thing. Else if I forgot the else if. I don't really think more than 8 rotations would be necessary either, because the way the lands grow, they would end up ultimately looking very similar. Like, I think 4 rotations definitely make sense. 8, more than 8, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. At least in the way I'm using it here. If you did it perfectly, it's circular, then of course, yes. And actually, to make the line straight, I also considered it. I could have the borders set up so that each one of the lands can't cross onto the other side anyway, but since they like to grow equally, it isn't really necessary. No, it doesn't. And the point is to introduce a lot of, well, to introduce variation that's noticeable. Which is why this split center is nice. So we have something like that. This should now always uniformly elevate both pieces to whatever they choose to be. Okay, what else do I need? So I did the elevation. The borders. I mean, I could add. You know what? I could just copy this code. Possibly. I don't really think I need it, but it would be interesting. And you're right. Yeah, and it surely wouldn't take that long. I don't know. I probably could have figured out the coordinates that I needed for at least the 4 rotations if I wasn't under the pressure of doing it on stream. Do I want to allow some variation in their borders? Problem is, if I do this, then they could be horribly outsized. I'll put it in for now. Let's take a look. See what it looks like if I added that. We just want the base size to not be in there. Or I could have the base size in, and then that determines whether or not they're connected. Or we can randomize base size too then. Let's take a look here. Something like that. Let's see now. So now we should have because the other thing here is if I go to different sizes, they're still connected here, they won't be connected at some point. Alright, that's 6 player, that's too big, so or should I have the option of them not being connected as well? What have we got here? let's try this. Then we go for base size and we say if center connected, if tiny map, else if small map, else if large map, else if huge map, if gigantic. They'll probably be connected anyway because of other stuff happening. Ludicrous map. If else if center, I call it divided, center split. Something like that. Let's see if this does the trick. Then we need a base size going into here. We said, well, 10 did the trick here easily. So we can do, 11 there, 12 there. Then we go 13 to see how this goes. This one's gonna need to be a lot bigger, like 30 probably. So, alright, that's alright, and we also want 100%. Well, the split is, it's always going to, we want 100% of that for now. That's fine. And we also want the far distance. It's fine. We also want the percentages to be half as large as they were when we had 2 of them. So instead of 5 to 20, we want, we'll just cap the large end of them. To 10, and 20 to 40, we'll call that 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Yeah, otherwise the lanes are going to be bigger than they would otherwise, and if it were just one land. Something like that. All right. Okay. So 6 player was where before we had some connection issues. That's fine now. 8 player size is also fine. Giant. Let's take a look at the giant map. Fine. Now comes the big question. Did I estimate ludicrous correctly? No, probably. Oh, I did. 30 is very generous and probably not as big as it actually needs to be. Or let's try more like 20. How am I going to do red for the other terrain? What do you mean? both terrains that I'm doing here will be this. That's too small. Will be the same ultimately. Well, what do you mean? Where do I want to use red terrain? Okay. So this works. We're gonna not do ludicrous anymore. Let's get back to like 4-player size maybe. Land position. We've got set up. We can add more positions. That's what you were going to do, or I can do. Then border fuzziness. Problem is I would need to export this. So it's normally it's zone 2 land ID 2. So they're gonna need to be zone 2 land ID 2. It'll be fun. And then we want this down here as well. Except this can't be zone 2, this needs to be zone 2222. Alright, you guys convinced me I need to add some border fuzziness. So, what we're going to do with this code is do copy, and we're gonna go somewhere up here. Yep. And now what we're gonna do is define center fuzz 100. Something like that. And then we do center fuzz 40. Center fuzz 15. Center fuzz 5. And then we do center fuzz 2. We have fuzzy borders coming up. It's strong. Then we do define center clump 2. Define center clump 4. The reason I'm doing this is because I want both lands to have the same value, so I can't randomize it within the create land command anymore. I have to randomize it externally. Otherwise, I wouldn't need to go to this length, but it does mean that we only need to do it once, which is still good. So I grab this code. All right, then what I'm also going to need is essentially something that says if center fuzz 100 or let's give it a tab, border fuzziness 100. Something like that, and then we do 40, 40. Then we copy this a few more times. And then we can just use the same thing 3 times afterwards. 15, all right, this one's gonna be 5. And then we need 2. Yeah, so 45. Yeah, not 45. All good. Then we need something that looks more like center clump. Define clumping factor 2. All right, we're nearly there. I don't think there's much else I need to do for the center once we've done this. The reason why these are going in exponential and not like a linear increase is because they don't make such a big of a difference. Essentially, the factor doesn't make a big difference if you go linearly. Really, the biggest difference occurs here, and you can go to values much larger and they have little to no effect. Same over here. You know, the biggest difference occurs between like 2 and 10 maybe, or 0 and -1 and 5 would be the proper, something like that. Let's try that, 32. And one more. Okay, so if we have this, why do I have define in here? That doesn't, I'm not defining anything. The interesting thing is that like land making maps one little land at a time. That's a lot of things, including that, are only possible since DE removed the limit on there being a total of 100 lands or 100 create object commands. Before, you just simply couldn't do something like that. What code do I have? So I have some sort of fuzziness and so on. We'll put that above. Do we put that avoidance distances? We have avoidance distances at the end. Oh, the avoidance distances actually need to go after the zones. That needs to be the very last thing. I think that might be one of those that actually requires being in the correct position. Actually, we can do better. Do like that. Good. So now All right, let's see it in action. Fuzzy. Not so fuzzy. Not so fuzzy. All right, come on, give me a very fuzzy one, please. Yeah, fuzziness. Fuzziness to the rescue. Cool. Fuzziness is the incident. It's also responsible for the dock issues that I was having. Also, sometimes I displace pawns. Those are also responsible. Yeah, so. Alright, I think, are we ready to transplant this code? I think we are. So here we have the thing that says how big the center lands need to be. So we don't need that. We can just put this here actually. Then we can take that. We can put in some nice comments. Or not, that's self-explanatory. This one here. Double center orientation. Double center orientation. This is basically what that is. That we already had. No. Center split width. Good, and then we want... Oh, we actually need to adjust the percentages of this stuff to be proper as well. Let's make this like 50%, 30%, 20%. And then we want to, then... do we want to call this? We want to call this something different. We want to call it double center. Double. This. All right. Okay. Good. I was just renaming things properly so that I'm happier with how they sound, and I want this to be actually we can do 50-50 because they're likely going to be connections anyway. And no, I generally want them to be more. Let's do 80, 70, 30. Yeah, okay. we get to see it all come together in action. That we don't need. Then what I need is I need something like this. Replacing this. Oh, then somewhere we need to actually decide if we're allowed to do double centers. Where do we decide that? So we also need that. If we do something like if no central land else start random percent chance 20. I mean, for now, for testing purposes, we'll do 100%. Define double center. And random and if. Then we go if no central land else. Alright. We need to do this differently. Single center. Else if single center. We're getting there. Then else if double center. Then we have a nice big place that we can paste this code into. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. We wanted to put it here. And then we can't have it being snow. Instead, we need to grab essentially this code. And then we need to also export this code. Yeah, okay, we need something here where... Well, we could just have the split be earlier. It's basically we're splitting between land A and land X, but only in centers. Okay. So we'll just do 30. We need to export a bit more code out of here. I hope this all comes together and doesn't just break everything. Center is land X. Yeah, something like this. Something like this. Oh, I didn't delete that fully yet. And then that means that over here we just say, put in an if. If, I'm probably making this more complicated than it needs to be, I just don't want to break anything. Is land A. I mean, that's excessively defining things that I don't need, but it does. This does nicely export that code out of here too. So now we could probably have that run outside of everything as well. A lot of this stuff could be decided before the script even starts running. All right, let's go. Center is water. All right. And let's see if it worked. Also, I think it's time for some new... Looks good, looks good. I'm seeing a central split. Oh, do I only have one? Ooh, this could be interesting. Do I need to have multiple big forests in the middle? I don't always have a central land, of course, but... See, look at this. This is once again a case of this totally non-biased elevation. It's entirely in the south. And it's not like I say there can only be one clump. And once again, here too we can see it with another crater base. Okay, so this is all fine for now. I think on the split in the center, we'll have a double center be like a 30% chance. Something like that. Yeah. And all right. So let's take a look. We just need... How do I just make sure that we have... All right, we can just debug some generations now, I think. And if I'll even hide Notepad. And we'll just observe the centers as they come to us. Alright, I think there is one thing I do need to look at though, specifically what we see actually right here. Well, there might be many things I need to look at, but where we're putting some sort of terrain on the center but not putting two of it. Then that we need to go to terrain generation. Cliffs, we don't care about cliffs very much. Terrain, okay, that's all the color correction. If center is shallows. That's essentially putting another terrain in the middle. Where, okay, so what we need now is we need a case of something like this. It's if double center, number of clumps. I mean, technically 2, but let's make it like 12. Something like that, because otherwise we have like situations here where the lake is only on one of the 2 halves of the center. So alright, so if we just take the same seed. Oh, I do not see an extra pond over here. Oh no. If place trees on land X. Central lake if the center is forest. Maybe I just don't put another train on them if the center is one of these things. We'll test that. One thing I was also still going to need to do is build in something to disable the super overpowered hero scouts. Yeah, okay, this is the very, very crazy mangrove madness style. Nomad. Oh, and I wanted to get some new music. So what are we gonna play? Let's turn off the soundtrack here. Let's play this one. I like this one. While we wait for that, let's take a look here. Make sure I'm happy with the way things are looking. Specifically, I need 1v1 to look good. Alright, here we got a double center. Or something. I don't know what this is. I also have to make sure I don't have too many Arabia clones in here. Yeah, that looks better. So I think this is also a double center. Doing some crazy stuff, which I like. The goal of generally this whole update to the map script to HyperRandom is to introduce more variability. And also I did the thing where I made all the hills be a uniform color on the minimap, which I think that's a big success. Let's see here, what have we got going on here? Ah yes, our seawall arena. Classic sea arena look. Good, good. It's not the classic sea arena look. Extra villagers. I need to check why fish aren't appearing on mangrove shallows. Or maybe I intentionally disabled them. That's possible as well. Ah, yes, our Mishi with a starting castle. Oh boy, living a life. You're super safe here. Not a lot of gold. There's more in the corner. Ooh, we have some craziness going on here. Okay, I have to generate some more with the center so we can actually see how... Because we did all that work, and now we're not seeing any maps with a good center where we can judge... That's a nice stone rush. Where we can judge how it looks, so... I'm gonna need to... I don't know if... Wow. Alright, we need to... We need to make more, so we need to guarantee that we have a center so that we can do this a bit better for testing purposes. So... Where do we decide that? So that's going to be 0, and we just put this on... Okay, what are we going to do so that we remember this? We're going to put the extra 40% there. We're going to put the extra 40% there. We're going to put the extra 40% there. Was that also 40%? Wasn't that? Yeah, okay, and then this one's going to be 50. So we want central lands all the time. This should be easier for testing. Alright, let's take a look. Oh, yes. So I might end up with a lot of cases where you can't tell that there's a center. Or where the center doesn't do anything special. I'm not seeing as many split centers as I thought we might. And we need more music. Would we play Love and Will in the Time of Age of Empires again? No. Oh, don't crash on me. That was just me alt-tabbing. Maybe my RAM got used up or something. Let's play the last cons. Alright, we actually don't need Excel anymore, so we can close that. And I will restart the game again. We don't need Advanced Genie Editor. I can close that. Alright, we've got our game. Just Alt. You know, who knows? Maybe this will actually get something. Yeah, maybe they'll find some bugs. Also, the loading tips for the scenario editor now. That's new. In case you didn't know that. Alright, and I think we wanted to see a bit more in the way of split centers. So what did I say the chance was that we split them? Double center. Maybe we do a 40% chance. Actually, no, we want to do a 100% chance to see how it looks in testing. I need to see how it looks, so. Okay, so it creates like a nexus shape thing. Woohoo! Oh boy, we have our Socotra Arena. Madness. Alright, now we have genuine, bona fide double islands. We want them to be divided more often actually than right now. Let's do that on 50-50. Okay, yeah, so now we can have two things like that. Or just two islands in the center. Yeah, this is what I wanted to allow things like this. The other thing I need to kind of prevent is these super, super skinny island generations. But the only way to do that is to just make this distance thinner. That might be something to look at after I've had dinner or tomorrow. Alright, yeah, so if it's connected, you can barely tell that it's two different lands unless they're huge. Which you probably don't see. Like, okay, here you can see it. So I think we disconnect them half the time. I like that it introduces a lot of apparent variety. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna... Okay, we're done testing that aspect. So we go to there, we'll still test a lot of center. I'd imagine it's not like Mega Random where you can just find all these layouts. Well, sort of. You'd have to reconstruct them. The other thing I should test. Alright, I need new music again. I'm not quite feeling this. What are we gonna do? Classic Age of Empires. Calm Elevator. Angry Rock. What have we got there? Try one of these. Add to VLC playlist. All right. All right, I'm still getting the single lake phenomenon. But overall, I like the increased variety that we've gotten. I guess the other question is how will it be on like 4 or more players? Oh boy. Well, this player started with a lucky dock in the useless pond. You can fit about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, you could fit 11 fish traps, but you couldn't fish from all of them. You could fish from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Could you fish from maybe from like 8 fish traps or something? And this guy is going to have his dock rushed down by legionaries. But these relics do need to be protected. I probably shouldn't allow these things so close to the center. How could I deal with that? Well, people can garrison. It isn't Arabia after all, it doesn't need to be perfectly balanced. Oh, this is a wolf party. Ooh, we have a fancy looking nexus here. What the heck is this layout? It's cool. It's kind of low on... I mean, it's a 1v1, right? 1v1 doesn't have a huge amount of gold. You start with your Monitor Scout, very nice. Mangonel Scout, probably. I mean, there are some generations like this one here that aren't ideal in terms of competitiveness that I might need to look into. Essentially the super skinny land ones. Maybe I can take another look at, I could actually look at that, couldn't I? If we go to, where's the player land? Issue here is other zone avoidance distance. Alright, we're gonna add another conditional in front of this. If tiny map. Else if. Else. Else if use island style. We'll do something like that. And then we just copy this. And then we say, alright, so currently I'm allowing on water maps, I'm allowing it to go to 15. That is too big. We want to allow till 10. So essentially we axe these percentages. Do something like that. Well, we could just do 20% for each of these, right? $20, $40, $60, $80, $100. If tiny map prevent huge, something like that. See if that's better now. See, that's, you still have a skinny map, but it's not atrociously skinny. Let's take a critical look at these other ones. Can I... Let's do this differently. We're going to do 6, 8, 10, 12. And we're also going to because we tend to end up with these super squished islands rather often. I think 20 is a pretty big avoidance distance to have. Let's also put this on 1%. Put that on 2% and add another 3% to this one. And then we subtract 2 from this one. Or we subtract 5 from this one. We'll subtract 2 from it for now. We'll put the 2, I don't know, up there. And then we subtract another 5% from it. And we put the 5 on that. And then we make this 10, so we can put another 5 over there, sort of to reduce this tail end here. Because that's been a chronic problem. Oh, new map. See, now you can, this is also what I want with the double lands, is you can now end up with situations like this. Which is cool. You can also end up with useless mud flats like here. Don't ask me what this is. This is beach. Buildable beach. Okay. Yeah, I actually noticed that some of the mega random ones had these, 2 lands next to each other, and I thought that looked cool. But then I also brainstormed back to have lands connected. Well, there's something else we can test for fun. We can go into Global Victory. King of Vale. It doesn't put the monument on, but it does make the center. so I can have my mega overpowered defenders of the hill. Oh boy, this is the all-flaming camel start on the center to guard the monument. Yes. Flaming camels. Or flaming camels. Oh, let's check some other map sizes. Alright, let's try 4 players. We also need to put in the 4 players. And let's see. I'm noticing a lot of these crater bases. But that's not my fault. It is, in fact, really not my fault. Alright, okay. Let's see, let's take a look at the 5-player size. Or 6-player size. I'm not noticing any major bugs. Or things... I am noticing this with the elevation again. Do I have enabled? I do have enabled balance. Must have it balanced. Balanced LA. For testing purposes. Is this still for testing purposes? Is this still for testing purposes? Why do I have for testing purposes written here? Why do I have for testing purposes written here? What am I doing? What is this doing here? Why do I still have for testing purposes written here? Let's take a look at the rest of my elevation. That's already cliffs. That's just the middle. Special case where the corners are useless terrain. This is putting elevation onto water. Land X exists, that doesn't matter. Forest elevation, okay. So that just leaves us with base terrain elevation. Am I just doing too much? Create elevation 7. I think this code here needs to go. I mean, I have balance elevation still active, but I think this code needs to go. And we can go sit in here for now. Fence walls and a trade workshop. Or an elephant brush. Okay, okay. Ooh, that's a mega gold rush. Alright, we've gotten a lot of these. Alright. Once again a case of the elevation all being in the south. I need to look into that some more. It's not good. Is this the 12 clumps that I specified? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, they're also in the center. Ooh. All right. I think we're looking good for today. So the next, all right, let's see if Ludicrous crashes the map. Let's see if Ludicrous crashes the map. I mean, once I'm happy with, oh boy. oh, Ludicrous it's crazy. So, yeah. Once I'm happy with this map, and I have it already, then the next project is going to be to finish this map here. Essentially to make sure that these, to get this one into a shape that I like. I'm not so happy with the islands yet. Maybe I'll just go back to just having it be, standard looking islands and not have all the mangroves around. But the idea is that you can trade with the docks. Sort of a marketplace on water. They can be in variable positions. And then the idea was also that these lands would be sort of partially mangrove, but that might make water control too overpowered. It's sad, but I think I might have to go back and revert this to just being a normal land. I put so much work into making it look nice, though, that's the thing. Maybe I can put the outside and just have that be desert, fill that all with beach, with palms. And then make the middle part more grassy. I don't know. I have to think about that. And then the other one, if you'll recall, was this map, where we haven't done the objects yet either. But essentially it just sort of... You see where I got the idea for doing the thing with the mountains for. But this one is the sort of... just looks like a real world map. Players don't start in a circle, they just start wherever there's room. And this map I made entirely on stream. And there's still more to do there. I think we need to make a jungle theme probably. And of course do all the objects and resources. And add some more variants. This will be a nice one to release too. I used to only make maps essentially for the casual community. That sort of shifted with DE because it's hard to get feedback on your maps. So it's easier to see them played somewhat competitively and use that to judge. Well, there's no comment system, or there was, but it was shitty in their workshop implementation. Microsoft's mod thing. Yeah, so I think we are done for today. Probably for today I need to recover. We can have some more music. And I'm going to sign off.